Hi, my name is Aaron Nace, and welcome to the fairy dust tutorial. Today we're going to be adding fairy dust to a photograph because, well, fairy dust is cool, that's why I guess, and it can make an exciting photograph even more exciting. We're going to do this using nothing more than brushes and a couple layer styles. So, let's get started. Alright, we're looking at, well, that's me actually, photograph I took a couple of weeks ago, and we're going to add some fairy dust to it. So what we're going to do, first off, we've got our base layer here. We're just going to add a new layer to that by clicking on our new layer button. And bing, we got a new layer. Great. Now the fairy dust we're going to use, we're going to want to be in this central area right here. So I'm just going to zoom in a little bit. And by pressing down the space bar, I can move my images around. There we go. Alright. Then we're going to use our brush tool to make this fairy dust. So we can either hit the B key or go over here and click on our brush. Alright, now if you just draw around right here, you'll see you got a normal brush. That's not exactly what you want. So I'm going to hit Control Z or Command Z to undo that. Now what we do want is a fancy brush that's going to make us fairy dust. So we're going to go over here and click on our brushes palette. Looks like a little bucket with a couple brushes sticking out. Nice and easy. Alright, now here's where it gets a little more complicated, but if you follow these steps you should get some nice fairy dust. Alright, the first thing we're going to do is go up to here where it says brush tip shape. And down here you'll see something that says spacing. This is basically how close together the brush is. We're going to drag that from the left all the way to the right. And as you see as I'm dragging it, what was just a big line turns into little dots. Cool. Well, we're already halfway there. Alright, now the only other thing we want to do is we're going to turn on a couple other dynamics here. I want the size of the fairy dust to vary in size. I don't want them all to be the same size. So we're just going to take this that says size jitter. We're going to bring that up a little bit as well. And then we're going to go over here to scattering. Click that. And let's bring our scatter up. Yep, that looks about good, 800. And your count will tell you how many dots you got. Whether you want a whole lot of dots or just a few dots. We'll go with just a few. Alright, there we go. And we can close that dialog and we're ready to start painting. So just click and hold wherever you'd like to start your dots to appear and start painting around. Move your brush or your cursor all around your image, just exactly where you'd like your fairy dust to appear. Now again, I haven't let go of my brush here. I'm not clicking a whole bunch of dots. That's because I turned the spacing on. It's giving us all these dots spaced apart. Great. We've got something that looks like fairy dust, but it's not there yet. Next thing we want to do is add a little glow to the fairy dust. And we're going to do that using layer styles. So still clicked on our new layer in which the layer fairy dust is on, just to make sure that's the layer. We're going to go and click down here on this FX button. And that's going to bring up your layer styles. And we're going to go to outer glow, which is pretty much exactly what fairy dust does. It glows on the outside. And I put that on and you can see it's giving us a pretty good effect there. And you know, actually I rather like that effect. I don't have to change anything. You can go in and change the color and even the blend mode if you'd like, but I kind of like what it's doing, so we're good. Alright, I'm going to hit OK. And there you can see we've got some pretty cool fairy dust going on. Now it just needs one more thing to be convincing. Alright, well fairy dust does give off a little bit of light, so we're going to make that light in Photoshop as well. To do that, all we have to do is click on our new layer button down here, and we're going to make a glow of light coming from the center over here. So to do that, we're going to use our gradient tool. Gradient tool is over here on the left. You can hit that or hit G for gradient. Now you want your color to be white as well. And up here, this is the most important part. You've got a linear gradient on the left here, and then you've got a circular gradient right next to that. We're going to use that. So clicking about where you want the center of your glow to be and hold and drag out, let go, there we go. We got a nice little glow. Now I don't like the way that looks exactly. So we're going to do the same thing we did with the outer glow over here with the little dots. We're just going to change the mode of that. It was on normal. We're just going to change that to soft light because the fairy dust gives off a soft light. Everything's pretty self-explanatory. I'm going to click that, and there we see we've got a very nice soft light. Now since that's on its own layer, we can move it around if we'd like. You can click on the move tool over here and you can see a little dialog comes up that's surrounding your image, and we can just move that around to however we'd like. And if we want, you can just click on one of these squares down here and drag it to make it a little bit longer. Click on this checkbox up here, and there you go. You have got fairy dust on your image. Here's the original image, and there's the image with fairy dust. Well, I hope you like what you've seen here. This is just an example of what you'll be learning in my 4-week course. You can learn more about that on the blog as well. Thanks a lot. I'm Aaron Nace. Have a good day.